Do you ever look in the mirror and feel like your makeup is making you look older instead of younger? You're not alone, and today we're fixing that. Because the truth is, a few common makeup habits can add years to your face without you even realizing it. So in this video, we are breaking down the top makeup mistakes that age women over 60 instantly and how to correct each one with easy, modern tweaks. From heavy foundation to harsh eyeliner and dark lips, I'll show you what to skip and what to try instead for a more natural, lifted look that enhances your beauty and not the ones that hide it. Let's get started with our first mistake on the list that leans more on foundation. Here's the thing. Most of us grew up believing that a full coverage foundation was the secret to perfect skin. Back in the day, we wanted that flawless look that hid every little mark or line. But once we reach our 50s and 60s, our skin changes. What used to look smooth and polished can suddenly look heavy and dry. The problem is that thick or matte foundations tend to settle into fine lines, clinging to texture and exaggerating wrinkles you might not have even noticed before. Instead of hiding signs of aging, a heavy foundation can make them stand out even more. It also dulls your natural glow, leaving the skin looking tired and flat rather than radiant and fresh. Our skin at this stage needs moisture and light, not layers of product. Mature skin naturally loses some elasticity and oil, so piling on foundation only highlights dryness. The goal now is to enhance, not mask. So switch to a lightweight, hydrating formula like a tinted moisturizer, BB cream, or serum foundation. These products still provide coverage but let your natural skin texture show through, giving a youthful, healthy finish. You want something that evens out redness or discoloration without completely covering your natural radiance. A great trick is to apply foundation only where you need it most, such as around the nose, chin, and under the eyes. Then blend it outward using a damp sponge or brush so it fades seamlessly into the rest of your skin. This technique prevents buildup around the edges and gives your face a more natural, lifted look. If your skin feels dry, prep it with a hydrating primer or facial oil before applying makeup. That small step can make a huge difference in how smoothly your foundation sits. Less really is more here. When your skin looks like skin, you automatically look younger, fresher, and more confident. Now that your base looks fresh and natural, let's move on to another sneaky mistake that can instantly add years to your face. Dark lipsticks often remind us of sophistication and glamour. Many of us wore deep shades for years because they made us feel polished and confident. But as we get older, those same rich tones can start to work against us. On mature lips, dark or flat colors can make the mouth appear smaller and emphasize fine lines around the lips. Instead of brightening the face, they can dull your overall complexion and pull the attention away from your natural glow. Deep browns, wines, and very matte finishes are especially tricky. They tend to absorb light, which can flatten your features and make the skin look less vibrant. For women with grey or silver hair, these shades can also create a stark contrast that washes out your colouring. What once felt classic can suddenly feel harsh. At this stage, the goal is to bring light and life back to your face. Softer shades not only complement mature skin tones, but also make the lips look naturally fuller. When your lipstick works with your features instead of against them, everything looks fresher and more balanced. So choose lip shades that have a bit of warmth or brightness to them. Colors like rose, peach, mauve, and soft berry are flattering on almost every mature complexion. These tones bring a touch of freshness and help lift your face instantly. A satin or creamy finish also reflects just enough light to make the lips appear plumper and more hydrated without highlighting texture. For extra definition, use a lip liner that matches your natural lip color. Gently trace just outside your lip line to subtly lift and shape the mouth. This small adjustment creates a youthful effect without looking overdone. Add a touch of gloss or balm in the center of your lips to give a soft, light-catching finish that enhances fullness. Try to avoid applying dark colors straight from the tube. Instead, dab the product on with your fingertip and build the color gradually. This gives more control and keeps the finish soft and natural. When your lip color feels light and fresh, it pulls everything together and gives your face a more youthful, radiant look. With your lips looking fresh and soft, it's time to focus on another detail that can make or break your look. Let's move to the eyes, because this next mistake can instantly make them look smaller and more tired. Back in our younger years, a strong black eyeliner could make the eyes pop and look dramatic. It was a go-to for nights out or that polished everyday look. But as we age, the skin around our eyes becomes softer, and our natural eye shape can slightly change. What used to define our eyes can now make them appear smaller or even drag them down. A thick, dark line that once looked striking can suddenly seem harsh and heavy. Black eyeliner, especially when applied all the way around the eyes or on the lower lash line, tends to close them off. It emphasizes fine lines and shadows rather than opening up the eyes. On mature skin, this can make the overall look feel dated instead of fresh. The key is to create a soft definition that lifts and brightens rather than hardens. At this stage, our eyes benefit from subtle enhancement. Softer lines, lighter shades, and gentle blending all help to keep the focus on the eyes without overwhelming them. The goal is to lift and frame, not outline. Choose eyeliner shades that are softer but still add definition. Warm browns, soft taupes, or smoky greys work beautifully on mature eyes. Apply the liner close to the upper lash line, keeping it thin and subtle. Then take a small brush or cotton swab and gently smudge the line. This softens the edges and gives a more natural, lifted look. If you still prefer a bit of definition on your lower lashes, skip the pencil and use a small angled brush with a touch of matching eyeshadow. Lightly press it along the outer corners of your lower lash line. This gives a diffused shadow effect instead of a hard line, keeping the look balanced and soft. One detail that makes a huge difference is curling your lashes. This instantly opens up the eyes and makes them look more awake. Follow with a lifting or lengthening mascara, focusing on the upper lashes to draw attention upward. Avoid heavy, clumpy formulas that can weigh lashes down or smudge throughout the day. You'll notice that with these softer touches, your eyes look brighter and more youthful without appearing overdone. It's a simple shift that can completely change how your makeup feels on your face. Now that your eyes are lifted and refreshed, it's time to look at something else that can make your entire face appear heavier than it really is. There was a time when powder was the finishing touch that made every makeup look complete. It helped set foundation, kept shine away, and gave that polished, velvety finish we all loved. But as we get older, the way powder sits on the skin changes. What once made our makeup look smooth can now settle into fine lines and make the skin appear dull and dry. After 50, our skin naturally loses moisture and elasticity. Using too much powder can exaggerate that dryness, especially around the eyes, mouth, and forehead. Instead of blurring imperfections, it can highlight them. Powder tends to cling to texture, making wrinkles look deeper and the skin more tired. It also takes away that soft, natural glow that mature skin needs to look healthy and fresh. The goal now is not to mattify everything, but to keep just the right amount of glow in the right places. A little shine on the cheeks or temples is not a bad thing. It gives life back to the skin and makes it look hydrated and youthful. Apply powder only where it is absolutely necessary, such as on the forehead, nose, and chin, or areas where makeup tends to move. Choose a finely milled, translucent powder that feels light on the skin. Use a fluffy brush and apply it gently with a light hand. Instead of sweeping the brush back and forth, press it softly into the skin. This helps avoid buildup and keeps the finish smooth. If your skin is on the dry side, skip powder altogether in certain areas and use a setting spray instead. A hydrating mist will keep your makeup in place while adding a bit of dewiness back into the skin. It gives you that soft, natural finish that looks polished but not flat. Another trick is to blot lightly during the day instead of reapplying powder. Use a tissue or blotting paper to remove excess oil, keeping your makeup fresh without layering products. When you keep your skin looking radiant instead of matte, everything else looks more youthful and effortless. It's one of those small changes that makes a big difference. And since we're talking about bringing back that natural glow, the next common mistake can make your face look flat and lifeless without you even noticing it. Blush is one of those products that can completely change how the face looks, yet it's often the first thing many women skip. Over time, our skin naturally loses some of the color and vibrancy it once had. Without a bit of blush, the face can look flat, pale, and tired, no matter how perfect the rest of the makeup is. It's that touch of color that brings life back and creates the look of healthy, youthful skin. However, using the wrong shade or applying it in the wrong place can have the opposite effect. Bright pinks, harsh reds, or blush placed too low on the cheeks can drag the features down and make the face appear heavier. Contour-style blush, which was trendy years ago, can also pull attention downward, making the skin look dull instead of lifted. At this stage, it's not about following makeup trends. It's about finding what flatters mature skin and complements your natural warmth. Soft, warm tones tend to be the most flattering on women over 50 because they add gentle color without looking overdone. Peach, rose, and coral are timeless shades that create that healthy flush we all want. Use blush shades that add warmth and brightness without being overpowering. Peach and coral tones can give the skin a sun-kissed glow, while rose adds a soft, romantic touch. Apply your blush slightly higher on the cheeks, just above where you would naturally flush. Then blend it upward toward your temples to lift your features. This placement helps to visually raise the face, giving a more youthful appearance. Cream blushes are especially good for mature skin because they melt seamlessly into the complexion. They mimic the look of real skin and add a dewy finish that powder blushes often can't achieve. Just tap a small amount on with your fingers or a sponge and blend gently. The warmth of your skin will help it blend beautifully. For a natural look, apply blush after foundation but before powder, and use what's left on your fingertips across the bridge of your nose or chin for a soft, cohesive glow. This small touch ties your makeup together and makes your skin look naturally flushed. So, which one of these makeup habits do you think you've been guilty of lately? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear. And if you enjoyed this video, you'll definitely want to watch this next one.